today to have all of you guys here in another episode held by Coin West here in Binance Lab. And today we are honored to invite the core member of four iconic projects to altogether discuss the current developments of Web3 with some dialectical view. So first of all, let's welcome our guests today to give us a brief introductions about themselves and their project as well. Starting from Shawn.
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, I'm very happy to be here today, and I'm the operator of Nowbox. So actually, about a year ago, our founder account Wei, and he was here before, and also he did an interview with Coin Voice and AC Capital, I believe, and so here we're today. Well, anyway, it's my pleasure to be here. So we are building a product which is a multi-chain wallet, and so what it is basically it's a Web3 application identity, a wallet, and so it provides some core functions, and there are there are two core functions that Navox provides. It's a cost chain and cost chain swap. So there is a very clear sign that we can that we can see nowadays. Because of the gas traffic in the Ethereum and the high gas fee, and a lot of new blockchains and the layer 2 networks, they're rising up. So and also we can see there are a lot of dApps and a lot of applications, and they are trying to deploy their projects on multi-chains. So one of the core problems that Nowbox is trying to tackle to survive is to help the assets to transfer over multi-chains, and this is a completely decentralized service we are providing. And as for question swap, and I believe you all have the same question, so for example, if I'm trying to swap ETH to BNB, and this is kind of trouble process, because we need to deposit ETH to the centralized exchange. Then we buy BNB from there. But with the services we provide a question swap service, and this can be done within a completely decentralized way. And actually, we're trying to solve problems more than that. But right now, this is one of our, like um, the main problems we're trying to solve. And we have already supported over 13 different blockchains. And among certain different blockchains, we have built partnerships with over, I believe, 14 different blockchains. So users will be able to swap assets and transfer assets from one to another, and within the 14 different blockchains, and which is quite exciting. So we're trying to build a cross-chain ecosystem with the services we provide, and there's definitely much more to look forward to in the future. Yeah, and that'll be all for now, and I will be sharing more information later.
Hey, thanks, Shawn and Brenna, then Giovanni, and then Murray. Yeah, just briefly give us an introduction. Brenna?
Hello.
Yeah.
Good to see you, everyone. I'm Brenna, and I'm developing the SpaceMine project. Today, I'm really happy to have a chance to be with you. SpaceMine is a cloud mining NFT P2E game based on a sustainable business model and we have already started making sales margin. We do not insist on guaranteeing a certain margin to the game users or partners. We just explain our game where people go to the flame Mars who succeed on terraforming and starting mining the minerals. Once the game user get the minerals, they can swap those with our token, and they also can swap with other tokens we suggested. And we have a special business model to attract prospective users. Unlike traditional miners who use it to mine through personal computers, we provide cloud mining service. Users can pay a subscription fee to use cloud mining service, which allowed them to mine BTC, ETH, BNB, and Space Mine. And cloud mining is the easiest and most effective way to make money from Space Mine mining without buying and maintaining your account. So far, we developed a mining service and especially automatic mining service for enterprise clients. We have started earning sales margin too. Last month, we already earned $5 million by selling automatic mining machine for enterprise. And we expected our annual sales volume to reach 100 million by this year. With this sales margin, we will invest to attack the game and the user with the promotion mining. We also developed a mobile app, Space Mine Wallet. With this, user can monitor mining volume and can swap it with the other tokens. We are about to launch a game and also release a new blockchain hardware like the smartwatch in this second half of this year. Our ultimate vision is to combine blockchain service and blockchain hardware. Our final goal is to position ourselves as a one and only blockchain hardware selling company in the global blockchain market and make more than 1 billion in the market and want to listing our company on Nasdaq and Binance. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. And then we have Giovanni from Aster Protocol.
Okay. Hi, nice to see you, everyone. I'm Giovanni. I'm currently the COO of Aster Protocol. Just give you guys an introduction of our project. So I want to first start with the problem. So what we see the most significant problem in the Web3 adoption is actually that the slow pace and the difficulty for people to use the application and to migrate from the current Web2 platform to Web3. So our vision, Aster Protocol is to accelerate this Web3 adoption for users around the globe. So there are three observations we have in this industry right now. First one is a very high learning curve to everyone from the Web2 to use Web3. Currently, we only have 300 million crypto users around the world, and we have 70 billion people. So it's because the learning curve for everyone to use Web3 is high. So second observation is that we think that social is something everyone needs as their innate demand for themselves. So we want to build something and accelerate this adoption using the social ability. We see that the crypto world is actually based on community. So that's exactly what we are building. So we think that social platforms will be very important source for people to know and to experience Web3. So the third observations we have is we think that some technology advancement like NFT and the previous version tokens, the NFT will be a great way for people, for Web2 people to get interested in Web3 application. And therefore, this invention of an NFT will be very interesting and very sociable for people. We think that it's going to be a great utility when people receive the NFT from their friends and they get interested in what the NFT is and how I can do with the NFT. So that's what we are building this Aster Protocol. So what we do is we are building a tool, a new tool for Web2 users to adopt Web3. So we are building a tool actually based on the current mainstream social media, which are Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, etc. So we are inspired by a project called Loot, which generates a concept called synthetic account for every Ethereum address to have NFT. So we are building a synthetic accounts for every social media users to naturally have a Web3 address. So we create this synthetic account for every users on the current social media to have Web3 address, which they can use to send and receive and showcase their NFT. So for example, when you tip your friend with an NFT and show your friend your NFT collections and even sell your NFT on the current social media like Twitter. The second part we are providing value is for the creators. So with the Aether protocol, the creators can use this synthetic account, so they can activate the synthetic account for their users, and they can actually interact with their users using NFT on Twitter. And they can approach anyone on the social media and showcase their NFT and conduct NFT marketing and build NFT shops on the current social media. So in the future, we will also build ANS, which is an Aether naming service for social names for everyone to register, and NFT commerce like an NFT Shopify for all users, to build their NFT shops, and for common users to have the decentralized social identity. So we are doing, we are launching a browser extension this month, and we are doing a use case with one of the Japanese most biggest real estate company, Mitsui Fudosan in Japan. So we are helping 11 Japanese digital artists to showcase their NFT on Twitter. This is what we are doing this month. Yeah, so just extend invitation. So for normal users, if you want to try your product, you can follow our Twitter account and contact us. And if you are a project, you have an NFT, or you are a creator, you are releasing your NFT, also you can try our browser extension, try our tool to market your NFT on Twitter. So that's me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Giovanni. Hi, everybody. My name is Murray, and thank you so much for hosting me. It's such a pleasure to spend some time with you to not just learn about other projects in the space, but also have a conversation about the way that the world's going into Web3. Giovanni, I love the points that you touched on with regards so many new users making their way into Web3, and education and support being such a key part of helping individuals make that move from Web 2 to Web 3. And I think Web 3 has so much potential and centers around the individual. It centers around the creator, it centers around the individual, and it really provides this freedom for people to be able to explore not just protocols, but gaming and interactions and social media, etc. So Photochromic is a protocol and project that helps individuals verify their identity. So, if you think about the benefit of what blockchain is, it's this incredible information system that allows people to transfer value across the globe in just a few minutes, sometimes even less. But one of the problems is that the endpoint of each of those transactions is still a little bit shady or a little bit uncertain. So as a result, there's so much in the way of impersonation and scamming, and individuals thinking that they're speaking to someone who that they imagine that they are, but in reality they are not. So Photochromic takes the know your customer, the KYC element that is done every time you register for an exchange or a launch pad that in Web 2, where people are familiar if they open a bank account or similar. We take that information and we wrap that into an NFT. And by doing so, we provide this portability of that identity to be able to freely move along and around the blockchain. So that allows people to easily transact and interact with each other. and that NFT is called a soul-bound NFT. So it's an NFT that you can't move out of your wallet. Otherwise, you'd be able to transfer your identity to somebody else. But it lives permanently in your wallet, and it holds the credentials of your particular identity. The other element of it is, Web3 was built with, a very, very strong programming element to it. And as a result, all the wallet addresses are not really human readable. None of us would be able to necessarily remember the 64 digits of each of our wallet addresses. So one way to help people interact easily is to give them an ENS, so Ethereum name service. So we provide that to each of the wallet holders by doing a subdomain. So yourname.photochromic.eth, or if you're a brand, or if you're an exchange and you want to offer this to your customers, you can white label it and you can have a binance.eth address. And then you can also verify your social handles. So you can sign into your Twitter account, your Gmail, your Discord, and confirming that you have ownership of them, you can append those handles to your NFT. And that is another way that allows people to easily transfer value to, I could say, send to Brad Na's Twitter handle, and that would resolve to his verified wallet address. So in doing so, we're just helping, those 300 million people become, the next 7 billion people, effectively give them a healthy, secure starter pack for Web3. So they get a verified wallet, they get a human readable address, they get identifiable, they can be identifiable from their social handles, and then they also mint a unique, rare image of either themselves, or they can reference one of the existing NFTs, which is the image representation. So, Web3 is all about your expression of yourself in Web3 and presence as a digital avatar, and we support that. So supporting each and every individual's individuality and their uniqueness, we do that in the form of giving them an NFT to be able to go navigate Web3 and have a safe time doing so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mari. So welcome again, and glad to meet you all. So let's kickstart from our first question. So my first question is that everyone is talking about Web3. So from your point of view, what is Web3 and what revolutionary change will it bring? So let's starting from Shawn first. So basically, you guys attribute to bring us a cross-chain DID applications, and that's a pretty cool idea to perfectly match the assumption of general DeFi wallets as an infrastructure, and to assess the users to manage or transact their assets across different chains using only one private key. So what's your opinions about this question?
Well, actually, I think it's a great question, and Web3 is I think Web3 is a general concept, and it's kind of hard to define what is Web3, and there are a lot of people, bloggers, influencers, some experts. They have different voices on what is Web3, but rather than define Web3, I would say the answer that I'm giving right now is it's a sort of a expectation or expectation. Well, Elon Musk says Web3 is bullshit, and I believe it's not. It's definitely not bullshit, and actually we are experiencing it gradually. So the Web3. So as Navox wallet, and what we can do for the Web3 is we provide a identity solution, right? So I think wallet could be one of the most important infrastructure in Web3 industry. And also I want to so the revolutionary change it will bring is it's gonna be huge. Now we have these we have the wallets and also NFTs and GameFi's and DeFi's and all these different products, and they are all like the most important infrastructure in the Web3. And but right now there is the the industry hasn't matured yet. It's still in the early stage. But I believe time will give us an answer.
Yeah, it's quite exciting to see all those revolutionary change brought by Web3. So, like for instance, when it comes to the creator economies, it somehow represents the transition back from the attention economy to the ownership economies. Because we all know that in the past it was those aggregation platforms who determines the reward mechanism and also the relationships with the end users. So here I would like to hear some insider thoughts from Giovanni, since from what I have learned, Aster Capital are the aggregator and infrastructure that deal with the poor social life.
Oh yeah, thanks for asking this question. So exactly, I agree with you. I think the revolutionary change that Web3 will bring to this world is definitely the creator economy, as you just mentioned, because I think that the creators will actually gain the real power back from the current platform. As we all know that currently the platform actually generate a lot of revenues based on people's data and the creators' content. And the creators and data, we kind of like sell, the users sell the data back to the platform, and the creators sell the content to the platform. They gain the revenue from the ad. And the more and more gradually, we found that those platforms, such as YouTube or the big tech platform, they actually depend on the users and the creators to generate the revenue for them. So what the Web3 can do, we actually develop such great technology for the creators to have the ownership of their content and the people to have the ownership of their data. So what this means that the creator will actually, they have their own platform, or they have their another path to generate the revenue for themselves, and users we can also own our data. So this means that the Web2 platform we are using now, basically they will also adapt to this change. I would think that with the Web3 application growing more and more, and the current Web2 platform, they will definitely want to learn what is Web3 applications, how they can embrace and adopt Web3 technology in the Web2 platform. And what they will do, they will provide better services for their existing creators on the platform and provide better services and even revenue stream for the two ends, the users and the creators. So what I think the Web3 is great. It will revolutionize this new creator economy, and I think this based on this concept when we are entering a super individual era. So as a protocol, we are exactly doing that. We are providing creators and users to own their data. We are encouraging creators to have multiple platforms to commercialize their NFT and their content. That's my answer. Thanks, Kaylei, for asking.
Awesome, thanks, Giovanni. And so Murray, I have heard that you just mentioned the soul bound token, and I have heard that the Photochromic have recently developed the NFT identity authentications based on the ERC 721. And could you please expand a bit more to us, like first what is Web3 and then what revolutionary change will your product bring us?
Yeah, absolutely, Kaylei. I think there's so much reason to be excited about Web3 because it's really the next evolution of the internet, where these content creators and individuals are finally empowered with their own identity and built-in payment mechanisms to ensure that they're all properly rewarded for their not just content, but their interactions and the value that they bring. So Web3 really gives back to the people. It's this blockchain technology allowing people to take control of their identity and data and then be rewarded for their contribution to the community. So it's really this direct relationship between the community being directly involved in running the community and generating value for it. So if you think about Web 2 had this, the taker mentality. So we all joined these big centralized social media services, and so much value was taken or generated from those users, but none of it really given back to the users. And in Web 3, that really should go back to not just the content creators, but the people that are involved in the day-to-day. So in terms of how that relates to the Photochromic project, it's really just a building that layer to confirm that the individual is who they say they are. So if you think about an NFT collection, a particular artist, a content creator, a celebrity, a sportsman, their value is their personal brand. And every time someone impersonates them or tries to pretend that they are that particular person, or claim that they've produced some content that they haven't in fact done, it dilutes that personal brand. Every time that us as individuals start interacting on Web3 and we have a bad experience because some crypto asset was taken from us, or we had a poor interaction, that dilutes the appeal of Web3. So what Photochromic really looks to do is it allows each individual to mint their identity NFT, and that's an ERC 721, which we've amended slightly so that it can't be transferred. But an ERC 721 is an NFT that all of us have come to know and love in terms of the collections and art that's out there. But I think what separates ours is that it's one of the first utility NFTs. So it's been so great that people have been enrolled and introduced to NFTs through the art and through these communities, and really shown the value of the social capital that's being collectively shared, and the next step of evolution after that, which is part of our contribution to Web3, is to take utility from NFTs. So individuals can then have their soul-bound NFT, their ERC 721, which is their wrapper of their identity, and then be able to use that to confirm their presence, confirm their identity, safely transact in the metaverse, and then also be expressive. I mean, everybody has so many dimensions to their life across their health, their social graph, their professional stature, their achievements, and their activity on chain. And now that can be centrally kind of connected to each individual. So each individual has ownership of all of these dimensions that touch all of their personal brand. And I mean, who better to own that than the individual themselves, rather than trusting some centralized service to do it?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marie. And so finally, we got Brenna. And so Brenna, as in the track of GameFi, is there anything you would like to share regarding this question?
I'll give you a short answer. I'm currently developing a service using NFT and blockchain, which are specified using Web3. From my point of view, I think Web3 is a new internet world. After the World Wide Web service, I believe that new World Wide service has been launched. It is on Web3. We believe that distributed and decentralized network is optimized for service that require them. And technically, there has already been a revolution. And if there is a Web3 for everyone, and that is really fantastic. I think there was a technological revolution and a service revolution. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let's bring to my next questions. My second question is that what is the biggest obstacle you reckon to the development of Web3? What is the biggest obstacle for all of you. So let's start from Giovanni.
Oh, hey, Kaylei, thanks for the question. So the biggest obstacle, I think, for the Web3 application is actually the difficulty of adoption. We think about a user who haven't heard of Web3 or any Web3 applications, and they heard about installing their wallet in their browser extension or mobile and register themselves with the exchange, doing KYC and doing trading with somebody they haven't met before. There's lots of difficulties, right, for normal people. So I think this biggest obstacle is the difficulty of adoption for Web3. So currently, you know that take a single country like America, so lots of the Web3 users are still the young generation between the age of 18 and age of 29. So among the younger generation in US, that's about 40% of people have invested in crypto, etc. And the average Web3 users it's pretty young. It's between 35 to 40 years old in the Western developed countries. So we think that this obstacle is not really a problem for a lot of young people, but it's a problem for older people. If we want to really accelerate the adoption for all the generations, including the seniors, to use this Web3 application, we definitely need to give them a more streamlined adoption curve. So the senior people can also, they find it easy to use Web3 application, and we hold their hand, we teach them, educate them, and they can get benefit from it. So with the Aether protocol, like we use a concept called synthetic account. So it's basically all the current Web2 platform users, which are about 5 billion users are using all the different social media. So with the synthetic account, they will automatically get a synthetic account with us, which allows them to send and receive the crypto assets or NFTs, basically all the tokens and NFTs. So this will make the adoption really easy. So if they have their friends send a crypto or NFT to their synthetic account without the registration, without going through all the KYC process, they can receive the NFT or crypto. And once they receive it, they can say, wow, that's a crypto actually installed. The crypto actually I received in my synthetic account, and they can go and check it out and really claim that crypto and NFT from their synthetic account. So with that synthetic account, it can work as a wallet. So they can even send and receive everything without connecting to their own wallet. But if they are happy, if they want to connect with their MetaMask, they can. But even with the synthetic account itself, they can send and receive crypto. So we think this is a great technology for all the current users, including all generations, no matter that's young generation or seniors or older generations. They can use our technology and really embrace this Web3 world. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that the education systems will always be a main focus to teach those people some knowledge about Web3, its advantage, and also how it really works. So, Shawn, the same question to you.
Yeah, sure. Actually, Giovanna was making a perfect point. He talked about the adoptions and all the educations that we need to bring to the the Web3 users. But here, I want to talk about the one of the core problems, which comes back to the product itself. And I believe everyone here today, including me and Giovanna or Marie, and we are all trying to build a product that people use, and we're trying to build excellent products. no matter it's GameFi, DeFi, or cross-chain, or even blockchains. And even see this is build products that people use. And so products is the life. Product is all, product is everything. So it just makes me thinking, what makes the Web3 projects so successful? Because they have so many users. Ethereum, the biggest blockchain, they have a large user base. Binance, they have over 1 million users located worldwide, and not even mention about Bitcoin. So, right, this is the ultimate question. So it all depends what kind of products we can bring to our users. This is the key of success in Web3. And what's more important is, I think we actually need to provide some practical use for our users regarding Web3. Just take a look at Facebook or Google, or the some of the biggest Web2 companies, because people are actually using their products, and their products can bring some real value, and the products connect more people. But if you look around now, the products right now we are trying to build, or some other blockchain projects, and we are not really building products that the real needs. We are like they're using our products for financial cases, right? And they might just looking for some price pump or cash grab. But I mean, think about this: do you really need Binance? Do you really need to use Facebook? I believe the answers are positive, but the motivation behind, so the reason that's behind that drives us to use those two different products is different. One is practical and one is financial. So we are having so much good wishes for Web3, and I believe it's something big is brewing, and there will be excellent products that will be produced in the Web3 generation, and it will change our lives and the way, and how we see this world. But we need to get rid of the financial elements, and where, let's say, to net the financial not that dominant. And then this might be the biggest question that we come to the development of Web3. But I believe it will be there someday.
Thanks, Shawn. And next we have Brenna and Marie. So I bet you guys might have different perspectives.
Okay, I agree with Giovanni and Shawn. I think there are two technical obstacles for Web3. The first is that there are not many development referrals. Most services related to the internet can be developed without using Web3. In order to select Web3, more various services should be available for Web3 using the advantage of blockchain, and more development referrals are needed accordingly. The second issue is the choice of a mainnet. Disadvantage of Web3 is that it is still slow. As a result, you need to select an appropriate mainnet for each service, and associated compatibility issues are one obstacle to development. I think the first problem will be solved over time, and secondly problem, I think it will be solved quickly if blockchain developers invest more in R&D than in accumulating personal wealth, like me. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Yeah, I think we're all saying very similar things. We're all creatures of habit, and we all use the internet and we derive a lot of value out of it. But there's a big adoption curve that every person has to go through. So to Shawn's point, one of the things is, if we get better utility from a Web3 service than we do from a Web2 service, that's a great reason for taking it up. But naturally, there's that change that has to happen. We have to become comfortable with using words like wallets and mainnets and ETH, and so on. And that'll take a bit of time. But I find it so exciting that such an innovative community exists around all of this Web3 development, and people from around the world are building the most incredible things. So the builders, particularly in this time of the market, the builders are the ones that are pushing this innovation forward with this paradigm and system redesign, so that consumers can make that move, and after that adoption and education, they can move there. So I think, part of it is in a world of Web 2 and governance and centralized service and governments and existing processes. Now we are free of all of those. We have the autonomy to build exactly what we want for Web 3. Some of those get to be rethought and get innovated on, and we can learn from the past. Some things we can put down and make brand new that serve the current community. But then we also, as much as there's a carrot, we also need to have a bit of a stick, and that's to deal with some of the bad actors in the space. And as much as there's so much innovation, there's also some scamming happening, which is not great for the space, and those bad actors have to be rooted out. So I think that's probably a big obstacle. But overall, I think it's in a few short years we're going to see people not even make the differentiation between what's Web 2 and what's Web 3. There's going to be a Web 3 backbone to so much of what we use in the world, and we'll naturally gravitate to the products and services that give us the best value and interoperability. So I'm excited for the space.
Thank you so much. And from what I have observed, so how to improve the user image and user experience have also always been a hot topic, like how to design the UI in the applications to really affect the end users, to assist them to use them more fluently. So let's jump to my third questions. So my third question, Tim O'Reilly, the guy who first comes up with the idea of Web2, thinks that the crypto and NFTs are pretty serious speculative bubbles. So what's your comment on these opinions? So how about we start with Mari?
I mean, with any new innovation, you're going to have the naysayers, and you're going to have the people that don't believe that it's got any substance, and naturally, that'll polarize a community. There will be people that are absolutely in total belief, and then those that are in total disbelief. And we only need to spend a little bit of time on Twitter to see those arguments play out between the maxis and those that don't believe in the space. So I think for each person, they have to go down that rabbit hole. They have to do some of their own research, and they have to make up their own opinion on it. But I mean, what we're seeing is a natural trend from people who have totally negative comments about the space. A few months or sometimes years later, they do change their mind, and they do realize that this is an opportunity. And it's a different mindset, and it's a different way of thinking. But I think there's also the early pioneers who are doing a lot of the education and general awareness in the space. So I mean, for the listeners out there today, I'm sure you have your information digest of interesting people, projects, and communities that you listen to about this. But I mean, we take a lot of time to listen to podcasts like Bankless and Grit Capital. There's people out there like Raoul Pal, the Defiant, and they're all doing incredible work to kind of lay the path and foundation of verified content and opinion out there that says that actually there might be something here. And those that are late to the party, it's obviously to their detriment. So anyone can have their opinion, but it's almost one of those Peter Thiel moments where what is that one idea or that truth that that not everybody else knows yet, or that isn't evenly distributed elsewhere in the world, and that is certainly one that our project believes is. It's not a speculative bubble. It's a melting pot of opportunity and real kind of Web3 kind of future forward utility for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to see those negative comments that may come outside the crypto industries, and especially when the whole markets start its downtrend. And actually, majority of the criticism, they point to those PFE, which the investors can only profit from speculating. So what people really need to understand is that more and more application scenarios should be expected, and hopefully we will observe increasing numbers of those projects and teams that can bring us with the energized intrinsic value. And for the rest of you, Shawn, Giovanni, and Brennan, what do you guys think?
Well, I agree with what Marie just said. The new innovation technology, they will have a certain group of people who don't believe it, but as time goes by, and they will accept the truth. So I believe NFTs, they are definitely not bubbles, and that's for sure. And it's just, I mean, it's kind of crazy that a simple design, just a GPG picture, their value got so high in the last few months. Last year there was an explosion for NFT projects. So that some people might think that's a bubble, but I think it's it's reasonable, because NFT is a new things, and there is a bubble before it matures. But I think the main confusion, we as a community, have NFTs, is that we are tech-minded, that and the bottom line, most of us see that the NFTs, like, they can sell up for millions of dollars, and see no reasons for it to be that price. But it's just art. I think the NFTs are sort of extension of the art, and art is an expression of human over many different types of media. Art is subjective. Art is worth whatever the people would pay for it, and art's value comes from efforts, skill, and all that kind of stuff. So when we give a simple picture so much value, actually we're talking about the art. We're not just talking about NFTs, right? And I think beyond that, NFTs are actually, they are revolutionary for the art industry, and it offers another solution, so we can keep the art. We can keep it forever on the blockchain. It won't disappear, and it won't be broken. NFTs are, as a very outstanding opportunity for established artists and creators with a large fan base on the other platforms. So as a result, an NFT can trace the official artwork, and blockchain can show the subsequent owners, including the current owner and the artist details, and copying digital arts become difficult, but if not possible with NFTs. If everyone can create a convincing copies of an artist's original digital art, and the value of the arts would fall. But to avoid this, artists they can link their art into NFTs and make it difficult to copy and sell digital copies. And the price saying itself indicates that it's a real part of the future art. I think it's a, in general, NFTs it's just a great innovation, and it's definitely not bubble. It's an extension of the art, as I mentioned before.
I have a similar opinion with Murray. Property like not ever been liked by only a few investors. However, since the NFT came out, the number of investors has been increased dramatically. I think temporary bubbles are similar to past IT bubbles. It might seem like a temporary bubbles because there is so much NFT being made compared to the time. That investors are learning about it. Over time, investors will invest more in valuable NFTs. I think cryptos are quite similar. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I love. Yeah, I think I love it. I think bubble is good. Yeah. So what bubble means? Bubble means money. Money is coming in this industry, and what also bubble means? Bubble means all the businesses in this industry are getting attention, and the investors are excited about it. Which also means that bubble means there is a potential very huge profit for the business or for the investor to make here. You see that not many people, actually invest in industry like agriculture or in the traditional retail space. Why? It's because the profit is not attractive, right? So we see also bubbles in other industries. For example, the biotechnology, and so many investors, so many of them fail. Maybe one business is succeeded out of 1,000 business. So the ratio is pretty significant. And the green tech back in 2009, 2010. So there was a big bubble in other industry too, and the money came in, and a lot of the bubble burst several years after that. So the team already also wrote in his article that the bubble actually had value after it burst when it actually built the infrastructure in the industry. So infrastructure itself will make a lasting effect in this industry. So I think the Web3, we call it bubble or not, it's actually building significant, brilliant infrastructure here. In terms of infrastructure, we say wallet, exchanges, like a stock market. We have mining, that's a production of the token. We have payment. We have the C2C market. And even some countries adopt the cryptos as a legal tender, like El Salvador and Central Africa. And these are all the brilliant infrastructure that Web3 is building, all these businesses is building. So this industry is an excellent industry. Yeah, so you will see that the failure of projects, in all the different new industries, there will be a project that failed, but it's important that Web3, we are actually building the infrastructure here. So think about the .com bubble when in 2000, so many projects failed, but they actually left the good company, actually built great infrastructure in the Web2 or .com bubble. Now we have the big tech like Facebook, Google, Amazon, all those guys. And in crypto, we had several bubbles before. We call it, so money came in and money came out. So we had, projects failed, but we also built all these good projects and good infrastructure. We have the Bitcoin, we have the Ethereum, like a computer system for the crypto world. And now we have so many more applications, the DeFi, NFT, metaverse, all these things. So I think that this industry will keep expanding, and we will keep building great infrastructures. Thanks.
Awesome. So here comes to our last question. And it is also the topic of our live stream today. Is Web3 building an utopia or dystopia? As some critics may argue that it's just another form of centralization. So since this question is designed as a more likely a debate and a free talk, so guys, whoever want to be the first to take a stand can unmute and speak now.
Oh well, I have a question. So when we talk about utopia, the word utopia is actually referring to a scenario that is more than likely not to be achieved, right? So it's like a scenario that only exists in our mind, right? It can be accomplished, it can be done, or it's there, or we can by putting our efforts and we can achieve there, or it's just a pure imagination. What do you think? Is it just a pure imagination, or it is something that we can actually achieve?
Shawn, I'm happy to share some opinion. I mean, I think it's difficult to label, the ecosystem as one or the other. There's naturally all of us, the projects that we started with an idea in our mind, and that idea was formed in a utopian way where there was no constraint. That constraint wasn't product, it wasn't capital. It was a genesis of something great that could be valuable to people out there, and I mean that starts off being centralized. It's you and only you that have that idea in your mind, and you build that idea out, and you start gathering people around the idea to the point where you can. I think the exciting part about Web3 is you don't have a minimum viable product; you've got a minimum viable community. So you've got your first 1,000 true fans who believe in what your form of utopia is, and you communicate that, and you allow people to buy in at that ground level in the form of tokens or private backing, and contribute in kind and in effort to be able to bring that into reality. So naturally, it is a form of centralization because everything starts off with one person's idea, and that person's idea then gets to a bigger community and then gets dispersed further and further out as value starts getting created. So, I mean, my opinion would be that it is ultimately building a form of utopia. It starts off as a very centralized dystopian view, but because people have this ability to innovate and build out Web3 in new and interesting ways, I think so long as people are committing to this long kind of roadmap of their projects and creating value for their users, I think ultimately there'll always be problems. There'll always be problems to be solved, and it's human nature to want to solve them. So I don't think we'll ever reach utopia, but it's certainly it's a great opportunity for people to throw their hat in the ring and give it a good shot. That would be my thoughts.
Yeah. So Kaylei, I think in terms of the utopia or dystopia, I think the things are not absolute, like we call it centralized or decentralized for anything. But in general, I think our world has become more and more decentralized. This Tim O'Reilly said this in his article that our human history we're going through this period when we had decentralized, re-centralized, and decentralized again, and re-centralized again. So this concept was based on the Professor Clayton Christensen's theory called the law of conservation of attractive profits. So it's basically this centralized model in somewhat that we call it in some business model. The centralized model will come up when the more profits is to be made with the centralized model. and then one time somebody innovate and they invent a new model, which sometimes it's a decentralized model. This decentralized model will actually disrupt this centralized model. One example would be the PC. Give every person's capacity to have a PC at home for processing, data and the information. And then the Microsoft came out with a central processing system for all the, higher scale, the capacity. And this centralized and decentralized and re-centralized, it's the sort of like theory or cycle we went through in our history. And this time, what actually pushes this advancement is the technology. And we innovate the technology which make the decentralized model possible. And now we have the blockchain. So blockchain is a perfect tool for everyone, and in every area they can use blockchain to make things decentralized. I know that not all the area will be decentralized, will be successful with blockchain, but definitely blockchain will be adopted in some industry or some business model with blockchain will work in some areas. So this is the disruption of the centralization using blockchain. So as you see that we have the centralization, we have the blockchain, which is a decentralization power, and things might get re-centralized again. You see like the big mining pool, getting the Bitcoin, and the individual user cannot get any coin, anymore. It can be decentralized, then re-centralized. So another interesting aspect is, so for the world, why I say our world is become more and more decentralized, is that we look at the society, the society that everyone in our society, we become more decentralized. Why I say that everybody came out of the feudalism, thousands of years ago, feudalism, then monarchy, and then we had the two great wars between the democracy and the centralization government, the totalitarianism. So and at the end, the democracy won. So it's inside our human's heart. We are we want to be decentralized. With the democracy, all the Western world now are democracy countries, and the man's human have the tendency to be decentralized and to have the free, have the ownership of our assets, have the ownership of our data, to have the vote, have the right to say what we want to say to the world, to the community. And so I think that with that tendency, that in all the area, the world is actually become decentralized. And now we have the technology which enable us to have the decentralization in different area in our life. So I think I'm very optimistic about this decentralized world.
Okay, I think the idea of utopia or dystopia is wrong. So for service where internet speed is important or where a centralized system is needed, developing and using the current Web2 would be good. However, services that require security and decentralization of a blockchain can be developed using Web3. This is related to the plan to develop the service, and I think that there will be more services using Web3. Yes, thank you.
So, sure. Do you have anything?
Oh, well, yeah, I was just going to say something just came to my mind. I think there is the line between centralized and decentralized is, it's not that clear. But one thing that we can be sure of is in a decentralized world, which is the Web3 world, that our data and our information and our assets are totally in our own hands, and that's what makes the Web3 decentralized, and that's also one of the biggest difference when we compare the Web3 into some of the traditional Web2 products.
when we talk about Web3, so first thing first might be the user's ownerships of the on-chain data.
That's right.
Yes. So all of the data are public, they're transparent and retrospective, and it seems like we find utopia of freedom and equality, but it also brings out another big question mark. That is, how do we ensure the privacy of those users? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And what's more, when I think of this topic, I am reminded of some interesting arguments that curate the fact that there are some companies like the Infura and Alchemy. They sell the API access of the Ethereum nodes as a service, and nearly all of the staff we use what they call the enhanced API for those two companies to interact with the blockchain. And because people just don't want to run their own server, so we just supposed we trust them. It seems like we are a bit far from the assumption of decentralization.
I'm kind of losing you, Kelly. You're kind of cutting out.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know where do I cut off. So is there anything else anyone would add?
I mean, just to maybe round off from my side, just thank you to you for hosting us, Kaylei, for all of the great conversation that we've had together. And I think this is a topic that should be revisited very often, because it's an evolving topic, and as time goes by, so many more people are drawn into it, and ultimately that this is a new opportunity of a utopia that can be built. There are a few bad actors, and there's reasons for it maybe not working out in an ideal way at first. But I think with enough commitment, energy, and enthusiasm, I think we can make a good shot of it. So I'm excited to hear about all of the other projects that are working in the space, and I think even in a downturn in the market like now, that's all the more reason for people to kind of pull together and help each other and move the space forward. So thank you for including us on the conversation today.
Oh, all right, guys. So since time is almost up, thanks everyone today for your time to attend our live stream broadcast. And for our audience, don't forget to subscribe CoinWise on both Binance Live and YouTube channel to catch up our latest episode. And again, it has been a great time to talk to you guys, and bye and have a nice day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye for now. Bye, Japan.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh.